And I mean, I'm a great fan of repeating and playing these ridiculous sound bites over and over and over again. I'm going to do it this morning because everything he says, literally, you can dissect it word by word.
Isabel Oakeshott shocked the public with her statements about Starmer. She didn't just criticize him, she attacked him with fury, humiliating him to the limit. It was incredible. We start watching the first scene.
It is incredible, isn't it? And I mean, I'm a great fan of repeating and playing these ridiculous sound bites over and over and over again. I'm going to do it this morning because everything he says, literally, you can dissect it word by word, is a lie. They were not ready for government. It was not going to be about service. It was not going to be about, you know, standing up for what was right. It was not going to be, what was the last bit about where he said it was not going to be something to do with self-entitlement. You know, again, sorry, how can you say those things knowing what he knew even then?
Starmer is a liar who insisted that the budget will not break the promises of the manifesto. He brazenly denied that he had deceived us. Starmer lied not once but twice, saying that he had not broken his campaign promises on taxes and insisting that his budget would not be a blow. No one voted for Rachel Reeves's raiding of working people. The Labour manifesto was just another dubious document. They lied to our face. It is foolish to try to distinguish between employees and real estate investors. Our hopes will be destroyed. Starmer's promises mean nothing. He does not fulfill his obligations.
I mean, it has been none of those things. And for them to say they were ready for government, I mean, probably the single greatest problem facing our country, apart from our complete inability to grow the economy, and these two things are linked, is the illegal immigration crisis. Now, if they were so ready for government, how is it that they didn't have any plan of how to stop the boats?
And well, they did have a plan. They were going to smash the gangs, but they seem to have, they don't really say that anymore. So I presume they've given up on that. Instead, they've decided to go and do a deal with the European Union instead, which they never said they would do because they said they were going to smash the gangs. Everything they've said has turned out to be complete.
The situation for Rishi Sunak has been terrible since he took office at the end of 2022. His ruling Conservative Party, whose 14 years in power were marked by the political adventures of austerity, Brexit and radical economics. Starmer promised to be the agent of change that Britain needs. He promised to develop the country's economy by reforming planning laws and investing in a new industrial strategy. Starmer said that all this could be achieved without raising income taxes. His manifesto is not bold and ambitious enough to change Britain for the better. In our country, there was a record high level of inflation, a rapid increase in interest rates, and the fall of the pound to a record low level against the dollar. We had the longest waiting time for medical operations in recent history. In short, this is a long list of things that need to be addressed in 5 years when public finances are in disarray. Starmer is a man who will say anything to come to power.
And the real peril for Sir Keir Starmer now is that it may be impossible for him to pull it back, certainly in terms of his own reputation. When you make a start as bad as this, it's a bit like a relationship. You know, if you go into a relationship and the first 10 weeks are terrible, you're not heading to marriage, are you? I mean,
Well, the 11, I mean, I'm surprised you'd go as long as 10 weeks. I mean, if after 4 of those you'd go, that's it, you're out. Thanks very much indeed. See you later.
The trouble is we, the voter, don't actually have the opportunity to dump them, but we sure as hell are planning on it.
Right.
And the thing is that if you've had that kind of bad start, I don't know, you know, they'd have to shower us with gifts and treat us all like prince and princess.
The National Crime Agency, which is at the heart of Keir Starmer's plan to destroy criminal gangs, is losing more employees than it is gaining. The new report says that its effectiveness is at a low level. This is due to the high vacancy rate and lack of investment. The NCA is at the heart of Starmer's plans to destroy smugglers in the English Channel. Currently, more than 70 investigations are being conducted against the most active criminal groups. In 2022, more than 500 new employees were hired, but the number of staff still decreased. More than a quarter of senior executives resign each year, and 9% of the advertised vacancies remain unfilled. Its employees are paid less than government employees and private sector employees, and less than police officers. This is despite the fact that his investigations are often more complex and target higher threat levels.
Places. We've got Keir Starmer's new Chief of Staff, Morgan McSweeney, prepared to make radical changes to the Downing Street operation. Well, I'm sorry, what's it got to do with him? You know, he is an employee of the Labour Party. He's not an elected official. He should not have any sway on how government is run, should he?
Well, even more astonishingly, there were suggestions that this guy has been pushing for a cabinet reshuffle.
Yeah.
I mean, these politicians, bear in mind that there's been long periods of recess, and most of them have taken some sort of holiday since coming into office.
Right.
These people have barely even got to grips with what it is that they were originally supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Never giving them something new to do. I mean, if ever there was an indication of the utter dysfunction and chaos, it is the suggestion that a newly installed government might be thinking about a reshuffle within only a few weeks of getting into power.
Right.
Morgan McSweeney is planning a slew of changes as Starmer has been trying to strengthen the management team after months of disagreement. This may include reforming various teams in the Ministry of Defense, settling a salary dispute, and further strengthening the political side of the operation through new appointments. Downing Street insiders have downplayed the likelihood of an imminent cabinet review, despite reports that McSweeney may insist on it. They added that, in their opinion, the recent problems of the government were not caused by mistakes of ministers. Among the allies of some ministers who were close to Sue Gray, there were concerns about their position in the long term. Gray was forced to resign less than a week before the government was due to mark its 100th day in office, after becoming the target of criticism during a political storm in Downing Street. When asked if Starmer considers his first 100 days in office, which were marred by quarrels, successful, he replied that yes. First of all, McSweeney wanted to focus on major events, including the first Starmer summit. He wanted to settle the dispute over the salaries of special advisors as soon as possible, which caused Gray to quarrel with political aides throughout the government. Their fury at being paid more than Starmer accelerated her departure. Some cabinet ministers reacted nervously to McSweeney's appointment because, despite his political skills, he has little work experience. Gray's departure from office less than 100 days after the arrival of the new administration means that the government is in a crisis situation. Keir Starmer's government descended into chaos in just 93 days. He can't even run his office in Downing Street, let alone run the country. Everything fell apart much faster.
Can you imagine most sovereign nations behaving in this way? So you've got someone who comes in, they commit a load of crimes, he got imprisoned, didn't he? This
2.5 years, supposedly.
Yeah, and gets out, and he's supposed to be deported, and actually that's how the system should work, although I'd rather not be paying for prison places for foreign criminals in the first place. They should be deported sooner than that. But in any case, off he trots, or supposedly off he trots, but then he sneaks back in, and then he gets himself shacked up with some lady and gets her pregnant. And sure enough, European human rights laws says he can't now be deported. I mean, I would just be saying to hell with that, you're off.
In recent years, the number of illegal migrants reaching the shores of England in inflatable boats across the English Channel has been steadily increasing. In total, since 2018, more than 110,000 illegal migrants have crossed the English Channel and entered the UK, despite promises from the Conservative Party to oppose illegal immigration. Only on the 25th of October, 424 people crossed the English Channel. As a result, of which the total number of illegal migrants in 2024 has already reached 29,578 people. On the 24th of October, the French Coast Guard said it had rescued 76 more illegal migrants in 3 boats after they encountered difficulties trying to cross the English Channel. They were brought back. Earlier this week, 3 people died and dozens more were rescued by French border guards when a boat carrying illegal migrants sank while trying to reach the UK. The waters separating France and Britain are among the most dangerous when illegal migrants try to cross the narrowest part of the English Channel and the busiest shipping lane in the world. Back in July, Yvette Cooper announced the creation of a new border security command, but we do not see any changes in the fight against illegal migration. What do you think about this news? Share your thoughts in the comments. See you.